Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate, to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay on ubnradio.com.
And welcome. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. Every Tuesday at naturally high noon on Universal Broadcasting Network out of the Sunset Gower Studios. Every Thursday now out of my NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050. And this is a show about hope and happiness. No gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk. Instead, we talk about what is right with the world. So there's no CNN as well, no constantly negative news. I want to know what's in your heartline, not what's on the headlines. And it is that time of the month. We need to cue in Marvin Gaye, except that when I have it actually cued, it won't play on YouTube because they ding me. So you're just going to have to imagine Marvin Gaye and that sexual healing. And it is, yes, the last week of the month when I get to unabashedly talk about sex because I am determined to make pleasure a G-rated topic. And I met our co-host for this particular episode at the Conscious Life Expo when we broadcasted on location for the first time out of the LAX Hilton. And I was there listening to George Clooney. You're going to have to tell him that. Oh, they kind of look the same. Oh, tell them that. Obviously, I'm trying to get on coast to coast. But George brought up Marla Martenson, and I gave her my card because I wanted to talk about her experiences as Beverly Hills Matchmaker. Marla is the author of 2 relationship advice books and 2 memoirs. Diary of a Beverly Hills Matchmaker and Hearts on the Line. She also has a YouTube interview show called Conversations with Cupid, and she did ask me before the show to be a guest, so I'm going to be on that. So my newest title would be Dr. Marissa, also known as Cupid. Marla has appeared in countless radio and TV shows, including The Today Show, WGN Chicago Morning News, San Diego Living, Urban Rush, and Better TV, and now with the Asian Oprah on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. She lives in Los Angeles with her husband and composer Adolfo John Alexi. You're going to have to work on my accent here. Please welcome for my co-host for today's Sexual Healing, Marla Martenson. Isn't that great?
Oh my God.
Don't you feel affirmed?
The applause. Thank you. Hello.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I have a friend. She doesn't have an answering machine. She has a questioning machine.
Oh.
And when you call her, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So we're going to start there. Who are you and what do you want?
Who am I and what do I want? Wow. Geez. I am Cupid.
You are Cupid. Awesome.
I'm Cupid. I am. I always say I'm a real life Cupid. I'm bringing love into the world. And what I want is to do that. I want to, besides being a matchmaker, I write books, I do energy healing, I do a lot of things. I'm a Gemini, so there's 2 people in here. I have so many interests. My husband, Adolfo, also says, what do you want to go to the moon to? Because it's like every weekend I've got another seminar, another class, another this. But I like to constantly expand and grow, and I can bring more to my clients that way too. And I just feel like as the years go by, I'm just infused with a lot more wisdom and
Great.
doing better work.
Great. Yeah, my life motto is don't die wondering.
Yes.
So
Don't die with your music still in you, as Wayne Dyer always says.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I just found out that I'm a Leo with Aries rising, which my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, goes, oh, that explains it. Not only do you want to do everything, you have to be the best at everything. So it's in the astrology, I guess.
Yeah.
We can blame it on that today. But Beverly Hills Matchmaker. So you have clients, men,
Yes.
and you set them up with women.
I do. And I got the, title Beverly Hills Matchmaker because I did work for a Beverly Hills firm for many years, and I was working right there in Beverly Hills. That was for many, many years. And then 5 years ago, I went out on my own, and I work out of my home office now in the Valley because my husband and I bought a house out there. So I'm a Valley girl. Trying to stay cool.
Yes, there are three things in life I don't understand: vandalism, terrorism, and why people live in the valley.
I know. It's because of great housing prices.
I guess so. I guess
if you want a house with a pool. But I have my own office there, and it's great. And yeah, I work out of my office, and I match the men who are affluent, busy men. They've got some panache and style, and they travel, and they've got these really great, interesting lives, and they're just missing one thing. And that's the right woman at their side, whether it's for long-term relationship or marriage. And some men have never been married, some are divorced, some even lost a wife. So,
Across
it
the
could
gamut.
it could be from 30s up into the 70s too. So
Is there when you meet with them, have you found that most of them ask for the same thing, or give me like a range of what those men are looking for?
well, the same. I would say the one theme that every man wants is attractive to them. So that's the men are visual. So
Okay.
they'll always say, I want her to be attractive. How does she look? So they want to see the pictures.
Okay.
And whether that's, could be any hair color or race or religion or body style, but they have to like that. So I have to work with that first.
Right. And
get
is it
their-
always like a model looking?
Often times they want the super skinny model look most of the time.
Well, there you go.
That
I'm out of the running.
and and I think it's because, they're paying a lot of money, and they think, I'm going to get my dream, what I want really, I'm going to put down what I want. If I'm paying for it, I want to see. But a lot of times I have to work with them and say, look, what is really realistic here? If you're dating these what we call a 10, right? These girls that have come out here to be a model or a movie star, and they're a lot younger, they've got a lot of options, and they're dating George Clooney or whoever, or they're at the Playboy Mansion, or they're out and doing things. So you've got a lot of competition there, as a man, if you want to date these kind of girls. So you got to think about, what do you want for your life? Do you want a partner to grow old with, somebody who's going to be there by your side, have your back, have a great life with? So they also want a woman who's kind of easygoing, can go with the flow. These guys are busy. Can a girl get ready, in half an hour instead of an hour, putting on makeup and stuff to go, maybe on a weekend trip or go hiking, a good sense of humor, have something they're interested in life.
I was a little disappointed because I thought you were going to go somewhere else. I thought you were going to say, that they want all that, and then I have to sit down with them and say, looks are not all that matter, that it matters what's inside the woman, and that matters that they, it's not all about the outside. And you didn't go there. You went to, honey, what are your expectations? You really think you can get that? So that's the reality. I'm disappointed for myself, because obviously I would hope, and here's this, I'm going to put the moose on the table. Here's the $1 million question. I'm from Canada, so that's my version of the elephant in the room. So really, if really affluent, successful men are looking for the model, okay, and tell me that at some point they say, that's really not what I want. I thought that's what I wanted, but I've gone out with 10 of that look. Okay, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. I want to know the truth. I could, I can handle disappointment. But are there ever any men that go, okay, I've dated 10 gorgeous women, And I realized that, there's some similarity there. And I really would prefer now, find me a smart, independent, sound familiar? Attractive, but not model attractive. That was a long time ago for me. And who has her own, career and is independent and find me that.
You know what, Marissa? They ask for all those things that you listed, but the men are visual. Now, I'm not saying every affluent man out there is, say, I want a model, but when they come to a high-level matchmaker and they're paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, whatever dollars, they do, they say, I can meet an average-looking woman on my own. I know it sounds brutal, but they don't need to pay. Brutal. It sounds brutal. And believe me as a woman, I'm over 50, and, if I was out there single, it's over, baby. I'm glad my husband.
So much for being a show about hope and happiness.
No,
right?
I'm
like totally okay.
Well, I couldn't probably match myself. Let's say that. All right. Okay. No, I deal with the more shallow guys. Okay, I'm not.
Okay, I'm glad you said shallow.
Okay, there is hope. I'm not saying every woman out there can find a great guy.
Right,
absolutely doesn't. You don't have to look like a model. I'm just saying a lot of the clients, most of the clients that I get are picky on the looks. Now they'll say, yes, I want her to have something going on in her life and smart and da-da-da. And then maybe he's dated all these hot models and they'll say, okay, yeah, just find me a cute gal. She doesn't have to be a 10, but men are still visual. They still have to like what they see. Their apparatus won't work if they don't like what they see.
Right.
Let's say a guy likes a curvier figure, and then there's a stick-thin anorexic girl. He's not going to get aroused or excited. It has to be his style of what he likes.
But women who have, so two things. One is, I'm guilty on the other side. So I'm going to put myself on the table for a second because I am also visually attracted, and there'll be really nice guys who have what, I think I want, but I'm not physically attracted to them because they're, so I get that. So I will,
and the
fall
women,
on my sword.
And the women have the height thing, there's women who will stay single for years and miss out on even having kids because we have a timeline there, and I've had a few ladies, I date 6'2" and up. One gal says, I date 6'4" and up. The average American male is 5'9".
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been working on that one too. Guilty on that one. So here comes the other big side of the question. And especially after the Oscars speech where the best actress said, it's time for equal pay, equal, gender. We've come a long way, but we still have a ways to go. And so in the old days, and I've had Leave It to Beaver, I've had Jerry Mathers on here, and we talked about, in the old days.
Yeah.
And women, their job was to raise a family and to stay at home. And so to have the expectation on a date for the man to open the door and to send the flowers and the blue boxes and all of that was okay. And it was something that was pretty much, you get it. Right?
Yeah.
And then we have really come a long way. And, I'm the example, I guess, because I'm on the air now, of the modern woman, right, who has a career, successful, has expectations. And I still want that. I still want that. And yet the man will say, darling, you can pay for your own freaking flowers, right? Or you can, it's not that big of a deal. Like if I stand and wait for the guy to open my door, I'm left at the curb because he's gone because I don't get in the car. So help me maneuver, right? Because I think that's a question that I get from clients all the time. And I want to be treated like a princess, but I know that I'm a queen. So I it's difficult. And then I hear it from guys too. It's like, what do you want? Do you want a guy to take care of you? Do you still want that? And at the same time, why should I be with a woman who can't take care of herself when I could be with a woman who could take care of herself? So you
Well, I know we've been catapulted into this different era. We have to take care of ourselves now, and even when I'm married and we both have to work, if we want to be able to travel and have a house and everything, we have to both work, which a lot of people do, and women have to do that. So I would say, for example, some of my clients will say, male clients will say, I don't want to date any attorneys, any women who are attorneys. Forget it. I hear that all the time. It's hard to match an attorney sometimes.
Why?
And I say, why? Well, because they're argumentative on the date. They're just too masculine. They're too combative, and so women will come from work to a date. They'll be dressed like a man, in a suit or whatever, and then they'll still have that male energy because they've got to be in that arena. So a lot of dating experts will say, hey, before your date, go home, take a bubble bath, put something, flirty and
right.
feminine on, take off that attorney or CEO or doctor, mask or whatever, and sit, just relax and let the guy be the guy, because they feel like they're with such a heavy masculine energy. Women still love to be treated like a lady and have the door opened and maybe some flowers, and it's rare nowadays, because I had a woman give another guy a chance and go on a date with him because she didn't think there was chemistry, but when they went out to the valet parker, he paid her valet ticket, and she said, oh my God, nobody's ever done that for me before.
Right.
It was such a sweet gesture. I'm going to go out with him again. This guy's great. So little things like that that men can do to have an edge, because guys aren't doing this as much.
Right. So it's a good strategy.
Yeah, to be a gentleman. Hey, who would have known?
Yeah. Now, if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who is my lovely guest co-host today and guest, it is Marla Martenson, and we are on Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa the last Tuesday and Thursday of the month, and you are tuned in to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, and we've been talking about the old days and the new days, and even navigating that. Now, are your clients still old-fashioned enough that that's the way they maneuver, or are they asking for independent women? What is the expectation of the woman that they're looking for?
Because they do well financially, they really don't care how much money the woman makes. They're willing, like if they're in a relationship, they'll pay for everything. They'll take care of everything. And on the date, they pay. But what they really like is a woman who has a passion. So whether that's doing charity work, whether even if she's a massage therapist or a yoga teacher, something that she loves.
There's a lot of feminists right now that are bristling. I can feel them.
Really?
On the other side of the.
But then the guys say also, if she wants to contribute and work full time, whatever. They're really the guys are really open nowadays. They really are to whatever the woman's doing, as long as they are doing something they love.
So here's another moose on the table. I've heard successful, financially influential men say, I don't want a gold digger. Okay. I don't want a woman to want me because of my money.
Right.
But that is such a paradoxical, oxymoronic, because that is one of the big reasons why someone who, is looking like a model and has all the other stuff is attracted to you. Normally, she probably wouldn't date you if it weren't for the fact that you have affluence.
Right. That's what he's bringing to the table. If they just want youth and beauty, then that girl, she's got that asset, right, for only a certain amount of time. And so that's what she's going to be looking for. She's going to date an older man. Otherwise, she can date someone her own age. I had a client who was in his 60s, very nice man, successful and everything, but he never had kids. He was so busy with his career, and so he really wants kids. And usually I don't always take on a client like that. It's very hard because that means he has to date a woman in the 30s. And so I was matching him with some girls, but that problem came up where the girl was like kind of the gold digger types. And I explained to him, I put it bluntly, I said, listen, this is what you're going to deal with. The girls that I'm going to be able to find that will date that much older to have children with, when they can find a guy 5 years older, then they're going to be money motivated. Right. And if you're okay with that, I can keep searching for you. And he said, you know what? Okay. I'm willing to realize that. And I said, okay, fine. But I like to be honest with them. I mean, they've got to, men have women, people in this culture, we have a hard time admitting we're aging. I've never had a client say they look their age. Everybody claims to be Dorian Gray. You know, I know I'm 60, but everybody thinks I'm 45, or I know I'm 40, but I don't look or act it. That's why I should be dating so much younger. Everybody, we all feel inside we feel like we don't change, and that
I am ageless though, so I am the exception.
We are ageless souls. We are, but unfortunately we're in these meat suits that age on this third dimensional reality here, and it's hard for our egos.
Yeah. So let's go to that. So I have no desire to be a cougar. Never have been. For me to date someone who's younger than me, there's just no plus there at all, because I will always be seen as the older woman. I just don't want to do it. And I meet a lot of my clients, same thing, and they really are like, my spirit is a lot younger than my biological, and I know that you hear it all the time. But I have yet to meet a person that has not said, really? Right? Mm-hmm. So that's the good news for me. But I still am ageless. But what women who are single and over 50, what would you say to them on how to date? Because it is, to date someone who's their age in terms of, they want to go out, they want to go dancing, they want to go travel, they want to explore. The men that they seem to meet are the ones that want to stay home, watch a movie, very sedentary, so they're forced to date younger men.
Right.
But then they get into that whole thing that I started with was, I don't want to be a cougar. So what do you
and some women will come to me, they're 45, and they say, well, I've been dating 30-year-olds. And I'm like, well, how is that working for you? Because those guys are probably going to want to have a family at some point.
Right.
And it's just short term, so it could be fun.
Yeah.
And then a lot of women don't want to date 10 or 20 years older because the guys, they die earlier, and some of them don't take care of themselves, and these women are hiking and running marathons and all of this stuff. So I would say I'm a big fan of meetup.com, where they have running clubs and hiking clubs and yoga and wine tastings, and if you want to speak French or Spanish, whatever, I go to a lot of meetups. And there's a lot of meetups for singles. So do the things you love. Take good care of yourself, because men are visual. So even if you're over 50, you can still stay out of larger sizes. You can keep your hair colored, and mani-pedis, and whiten your teeth. Just keep fresh, looking, energetic, healthy, and love yourself. Have a good base of friends, and go do interesting things. I'm taking crystal healing classes and meditation and yoga, and I travel and whatever. And you're going to be so interesting too. Your energy, vibration's going to be high. People will be attracted to you, and you will meet the right person. But when I had a woman come up to me at some event the other day, and she says, I have a friend, and she's 45 and she's single, and she can't meet anybody. She can't find anybody. It's just an affirmation. Well, of course she can't.
Right.
She's thinking, I can't meet anybody. Nobody wants me.
I had a caller like that.
It totally is. Just love yourself. It's all have your first relationships with you.
Thank you. I want to highlight that, because when you're saying, I totally agree with you to keep out of the large sizes, and I'm on a health kick now but it's not for the guy. It's for me.
That should be for you. Yes, exactly.
It's for me, because I feel better in smaller
And when you feel better and comfortable in your body, then you emit that, and you're going to feel good and sexy in the bedroom, and without your clothes and with your clothes. All around. You just want to feel good for you. So if you're if you hate your body, or you hate your butt, or you hate your whatever, you just that hate. Like, why are they going to want to be with you if you don't even like you?
Right.
I know it sounds like so cliche, but
no, it's true. It's absolutely true. I totally agree with you. Okay. And I've talked about this. So soulmates. Is it okay? So, because I found these statistics, 53% of marriages in United States end in divorce. Australia, 43%. United Kingdom, 47%. Germany, 49%. France, 55%. Belgium, where I used to live, 71%.
Wow.
That's why I left. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
There'll be a lot of choices there. Pick up one of the divorce guys.
Right.
Go to Belgium.
True. Go back to Belgium. Portugal, 68%.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So, and I believe that one of the contributing factors, not the, but one of the contributing factors to the high level of divorce is because, and I'm happily divorced, so I'm one of the statistic, but that belief that there's only one, that and if things aren't, Cupid singing, all that, then it's not the one, and so it might be the next one, or that search for that elusive, the one and only, till death do us part. It hurts us.
Yeah, women we get that from fairy tales. When I was a little girl, I read Cinderella and Snow White, and I thought, oh, my prince is coming on a white horse, and you have that dream, and you think it has to be like in the fairy tales.
Right.
And it's just not. Yes, in our 20s, teens, 20s, and then into the 30s, you get that. I mean, I remember I'd have a crush on a guy and I'd lose 10 pounds in a week because this is hormones. It's called hormones. Okay. It's not real. It's those hormones surging because you're attracted and it's exciting. And I even got married to a guy after 6 months because of hormones, which is, my last husband. It's just not. Unfortunately, that's where we're humans that go back to caveman days and have these things built in to get the species continuing. But we've got to get rid of that idea of that prince coming.
So do you believe that there is such a thing as a soulmate?
There are soulmates, but there's not just one. We travel in soul. I just did an interview with Grace Kavanaugh, who channels Osira, this collective of 12, like an Abraham Hicks, and we talked about soulmates, and they told us about soulmates, and it's a great interview I have on YouTube, and they said that we do travel in soul groups, and there are many soulmates for us, and for example, if you moved back to Belgium, you could meet a guy that is just fabulous for you. If you move to Japan, if you move to Norway, if you move to Santa Barbara, there's got to be a guy in every city on the planet that would be a good match for you or for me, right? So I don't believe in one soulmate that we've come here and we've got to spend our whole life finding, and then by the time we find him, they've got 2 years left to live. I don't think so.
Yeah. So curious, how did you meet your guy now?
My guy now, we met in 2001, May 21st, 2001. I met him. He's a musician, composer, and entertainer. So I met him. A friend of mine brought me to where he was performing, and she knew him and brought me to there. And we said hello, and we were together ever since.
Okay.
And there was not, I was 39, and there was not those butterflies, or I didn't lose any weight. I didn't wonder if he was going to call. It was a very, just kind of moved into, we liked each other, and it clicked, and we were like, okay, we're together. And it wasn't that angst or that feeling.
So that might qualify as a soulmate connection.
Yeah, I'm sure we've been in other. Well, Osiris says we've had 15 other lifetimes together. So I don't know if people think I'm too woo woo here, but
that's okay. We do woo woo.
But anyway, I'm pretty woo woo. But yeah, I'm sure. And then we have our issues. I tell you, there's some issues that we're working out here. And your soulmate doesn't always mean that everything's going to be wonderful and we do everything the same and we like everything the same and we cut our carrots the same. No, there's your soulmate might be somebody who really pushes your buttons and pisses you off, but you're going to look at your issues and learn and grow. It's not always all roses and romantic.
Right. I saw that thing that a soulmate is someone who helps you unpack your emotional baggage. So
there's a lot of work that we do together.
Right. Yeah. How many times have you been married?
3.
3 times.
Yeah, 3.
This is your third one. That's the third time's a charm.
Yeah, it's my longest one. 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. And
I started too young, and then I'm a Gemini. There's 2 people here, so a couple of us got married.
So one got married and the other one
divorced,
didn't.
And the other one,
All right. Well, I see the signal for it's time for us to thank the sponsors that are bringing about this show. We will be back with Marla Martenson, Beverly Hills Matchmaker, on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. Sexual healing with the Asian Dr. Ruth. We'll be right back. 2 and 2.
Did you know that women are capable of over 11 different kinds of orgasms, and yet 87% of women are sexually unsatisfied? Did you know that 9 out of 10 couples desire deeper intimacy in and out of the bedroom? If you desire more pleasure, better orgasms, and a more sacred sensual connection, visit DebbieWardTantra.com and get your free female orgasm guide to uncover the top 3 blocks preventing you from having the pleasure, intimacy, and orgasms you crave. That's DebbieWardTantra.com.
How do you prepare a young teen for the sexual culture they're growing up in today? Science teacher Dave Beck's hilarious and harrowing book, They Asked You What?, does just that. It gives the student, their parents, and teachers the knowledge and tools to deal with the reality of today's overwhelmingly sexual American culture. And it's a great, fun, thoughtful read. Read it yourself. Give it to your teen and/or their teachers. Available for Kindle download and softcover purchase at Amazon.com.
And we're back. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. And we are the last week of the month, so we're talking about sexual healing with the new Asian Dr. Ruth, determined to make pleasure a G-rated topic. And Marla Martenson is my Beverly Hills matchmaker. She's actually, you're going to set me up.
I'm going to do my best to shoot some arrows at you.
But yes.
Like Cupid arrows.
Yes. I mean, what would you, I mean, you don't know me that well, but, you know, we connected on an energetic level as well. What would you say I should be looking for? So you just say, you know, it's kind of like the reverse match, right? So you're matching for me and I should be matching for myself too, right? So what should I be looking for? And I speak on behalf of many women in my category, which I call the independent, powerful, successful women. What should we be looking for?
Well, you know, I don't like to tell people what they should be looking for. It's what you would be telling me, what kind of lifestyle you have and what kind of man you're looking for. Now, if you came to me and like we said, oh, I'm 5'3", but I only date 6'1" and up, and he's got to be, looks like, you know, tall, dark, and handsome, and have this and that and the other, a lot of women tend to have too long of a list. So we'd look at the list and say, look, what are your absolute deal breakers? Let's say you're Jewish and that's important to you. Okay, that's fine. Let's say you want to date somebody in Los Angeles. You're not willing to relocate. That's fine. Let's say you want to have kids, or you want somebody who's had kids. You know, the main things that are really important to you in your life. But the other things like what color hair or eyes or height or career. Some women will say, oh, I won't date doctors or attorneys or this, or I'll only date guys. I had a woman say she'd only date a guy with a certain series of a BMW car. If it was this series, I don't even know the names of them, or I wouldn't date him. I'm like, oh, just, you know, give me a Advil here.
Yeah.
So, you know, listen, you're a fantastic woman. You, like you said, you know, you're cute and spunky and attractive and intelligent, and you've got a lot of things going on. A guy would be lucky to have you. Aww. And it sounds like you're pretty open with the age and all that. You said the height's a little bit of a deal for you, but but you don't want to go younger, right?
I don't want to go younger. Spiritually minded and uber successful are my, you know, the top two. Gotta have those two.
Okay, and then the uber success. Some women will say, "I want to date a billionaire, or he's got to have his own plane."
No. I don't even necessarily. They don't. They have money energy to do things with. Okay. So to back projects, to create things. They have the ability to create, right? So that's, in my mind, is uber successful. Yeah. And you know, some women they will say the plane, this, that, and I'm like, come on, there's the 1% of the world. Is it true though that so someone gave me a card once, says that there's only 3 words that just describe someone like you, who is everything that you just said and still single, and you open it up and it says picky, picky, picky. Okay.
That's great.
So the same reverse question, when you said the guy was asking for all of this plus that, the 10 plus, we'll just call it a 10 plus. 10 plus. So do 10 plus women exist? And do 10 plus men exist in your mind?
Well, there are some. I mean, look who George Clooney married. Okay, this woman is a 10 plus, and she's her career wise, she's just amazing. And there's a lot. There are women that have it all, but it's a small percentage, and those women are dating. That look at all the celebrities who they date. They date these really interesting women. But I will say, look, okay, I had a guy he was Jewish and he wanted a Jewish girl that he says, oh, my friends are dating these women. Like one of my friends, she's a Victoria's Secret model and she belongs to a think tank. And another one has a PhD and she, so he wanted the Victoria's Secret model that's also the PhD and Jewish and this, and her grandparents are still alive because that shows she has good genes and this ridiculous. I mean, when he sent me his list, I said, I'd have to charge you $100,000 to even search for, you're looking for a unicorn, so some of them, and some things I just ignore. Like nowadays, if they say, oh, I want busty or blue eye, I just ignore. I just want to find them somebody they're going to click with, and when they meet them, there's that chemistry. So sometimes I'll just throw their part of their list out myself, and I won't even tell them, and I'll just say, "You're meeting this person."
That actually helps with the problems that come with online dating, because what I've heard is when you're on online dating and you think you know what you want, and you have that list, you discard what you really don't mean to discard, right? Although I have heard on eHarmony that they don't pay attention to, when you say, I absolutely want a tall guy, they'll send you a short guy.
That's good. It's interesting. When I tried online dating before I met my husband, I only tried it very briefly. And I did put height 5'10" and up. And I don't even know what later I thought, why did I do that? I mean, I had dated a 5'6" guy, my height. I really don't care about that. And I was thinking about myself, Marla, what was that about? That was just dumb.
Yeah. Well, how tall is your guy now?
5'9".
5'9".
I'm 5'6". I like the shorter guys, though. I don't like, for me, a 6'4" or something. That's just your neck is cricked. You're up big. I like my guy right there, ready to kiss him. Right,
kissing
face
height.
level. I don't.
I know it is certainly something that I have to get over, because I do like tall men, and I don't know if it's because I want them to, I feel smaller, and that whole, you want to feel smaller, not bigger. I don't know what it is, but it is. I mean, the last guy I dated was 6'6".
Wow,
I mean,
how tall are you? You're not so.
I'm 5'4".
Yeah,
I'm 5'6" with heels, 5'8" with my hair. So so it is something that I need to challenge myself.
And a lot of ladies will tell me, well, I'm 5'4", but I live in my heels, so I'm 5. So I need a guy who's 6 feet because. And I said, well, I hope you have a very nice relationship with your heels. I hope they keep you warm at night because either get comfortable with a guy at your heels or wear flats.
It is a weird thing though. It really is. Okay, so take the Dr. Marissa challenge from this particular episode is date someone shorter than you think you need.
Hey, yeah. Go out of your comfort zone and throw a couple things off your list and let me know how it goes.
Right. So chemistry. I asked this to Dr. Pat as well. Is it possible for women to be in love with a man, to fall in love with men over time who they do not feel like they have chemistry with in the first date?
It does. It even happened to me years ago.
Really?
I mean, there was a guy I knew, and no way, I had no attraction whatsoever. And all of a sudden, I look at him one day, and I was like madly in love. It was so interesting. So women will give guys a longer chance. Sometimes a guy will go on one date and say, nope, absolutely not. She's not my type, but she's fabulous. She's great. I wish I was attracted, but I'm just not. But a woman will go on a date and say,
No, that was me though.
Yeah, you're more like the guy, huh?
Yeah.
But a lot of women will say, well, I'm not sure, he's normally not my type or whatever, but he's so great, I want to give him another chance. Maybe something will develop.
Does that happen to a guy too? If they don't think there's chemistry? Jarvis is shaking his head.
Jarvis.
No. So it doesn't happen to a guy.
Sometimes, but not as much. They've got that visual thing where why go on if they don't have that physical chemistry? Why waste another date? Sometimes the guys will go on 2 or 3, though. They will give it a try.
But usually it's more likely for a woman.
Okay. The women have other priorities other than looks as much. They like the security. Like you said, I want an uber successful guy. Height, security, humor.
And let me be very clear for those who think that, that means a gold digger. For me, at the risk of sounding defensive, it is nothing to do with, I expect them to pay. But
Right,
I
of course.
want
You want an
someone
equal and
who
somebody powerful.
has, magic, who does magic things with.
Oh, I get that. It's sexy. Powerful guys, intelligent,
Successful, yeah.
men able to generate big things.
Yeah.
It's sexy.
Yeah.
It makes us feel protected. We learn from them.
Yeah,
It's
it's respect.
A lot
for
of
me.
ladies will come up, they'll say, "Oh, I'm tired of taking care of a guy or having a guy, I have to pay for dinner all the time, or they're sleeping on my couch, or they don't have a car." They say, "Can't I just have a guy who has a job and a car?" I said, "No problem there. I can."
Yeah. Those do exist. That's another.
But the younger girls deal with that a lot,
Well, and then that is another show when we do healing, because it's like, what part of you is attracting someone who cannot?
Because they're going for the hot, cute guy that's struggling musician or actor or whatever. They're still young and they're trying to make their way, but they're cute, puppy dog. I'll take care of it. Yeah, come over to my house. Yeah, spend the night.
First dates. When should you have sex on the first date or not?
I don't think so, and
Why?
and not that I haven't done it.
Okay, that's
not
honest.
that most people haven't done it, But if you want a relationship with somebody, you don't even listen. If you're gonna have sex with a guy that you wouldn't even leave alone in your house or with your dog or have the keys to your car or your wallet, what are you gonna let a guy in your
Panties.
vajayjay? And it also catapults you ahead, like into relationship status. You don't even know the person. So let's say you sleep with the guy and then he's probably never going to call you back. And then how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel about yourself? You're open up. You don't know who this guy is. It could be dangerous in many ways. What's the rush?
Yeah. Well,
and I liked, isn't it nice to have something to look forward to too? Gosh, see each other again. And
I used to
the
say
romance
that,
build and all the chemistry.
that there's nothing like that build.
Right.
And once the build is over, it's all downhill. I used to say that. I don't say that anymore. I try not to say that anymore. Okay, so meaningless sex. Friends with benefits. What's your take on that?
Easier for a guy because the women, we have something called oxytocin, which of course you know about. Some people still haven't heard about it, but that's our bonding hormone. You could probably explain it better than me, but that's what is released in a woman's body when she has sex, has an orgasm, gives birth to bond to that man long enough so that the family can grow and be stable and all of that. So that's where the guys get stalkers. That's where the guys get girls who are texting them, at 3 a.m, 100 times a day. Why haven't you called? You said you'd call, but did I do something wrong? You said, why did you call?
Are you in a hospital?
Yeah, you must be dead. When I was single in my 20s and 30s, a guy, he said he'd call and he didn't call. I said, well, he must be dead or in a coma because he said he'd call. And if he said he'd call unless he can't call.
Right.
And I was insane. And guys that I knew were wrong for me, but I was in love with them because I'd bonded, the oxytocin bonded me.
Right.
So be careful about that. And guys, be careful when you do sleep with a woman because that is going to happen. She'll get attached to you.
Yeah, there may be rabbits in your pot.
There could be.
That could be because of oxytocin.
Yeah.
So when you, and I'm going to put this moose on the table for myself. I've gone on, you don't know about when I started sexual healing with Dr. Marissa was last Valentine's. And every month we've been talking on sex, and I've been going back and forth on meaningless sex and all of that. And I have to, and I had switched. At first it was like, I can't imagine having meaningless sex. Like it just, and then I got to the point probably a couple of months ago where I said, you know what, there might be something to this. Why should I only limit orgasmic pleasure to meaningful? If I can't find the meaningful, then I'm right.
Yeah, do the Samantha Jones Sex in the City kind of.
Right. And so I tried it and I am back. I'm to the point now where I understand that sex is such a meaningful act that to take all meaning out of it. Or I actually had the question with Dr. Pat this last time of a woman who had really a difficult time orgasming with someone who she thought was phenomenal. Like, why did that happen? Why didn't it happen? Why am I finally get the guy that I really want. Why am I not having an orgasm? And the realization, what hit me was, that slow taking time thing you were talking about, that for a woman it is important to build that level of, and then the sex is beautiful.
Yeah, she wants to feel safe and cared for and loved.
Yeah. How do we find you? And how we haven't talked about your books. I have this fabulous gift from Marla called Diary of a Beverly Hills Matchmaker.
That's my memoir, and it tells all about my life.
Without names.
The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
I say that too.
Some names are real, of my friends and stuff, but the clients' names are all changed. It's a juicy memoir about my life. It has a lot of my personal life in it, and then my on the job. It's a really fun read. And then I did the follow-up book, the sequel called Hearts on the Line: The Elusive Pursuit of Love in the City of Angels, and they're both on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And then my website is my name, marlamartenson.com, MarlaMartenson. My books are there. There's a blog, and there's a lot of fun stuff. My crystal healing and Reiki. If anybody's in LA and wants an infusion of amazing love energy, come on over.
Great. I love it. I just opened to chapter 12, Kiss My Botox. Perfect. Well, we are almost out of time. Any last, let's see. Okay. What's your advice for women who spent one more Valentine's alone and don't feel like there is any hope for love anymore for the rest of their lives?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was single and in Chicago, single for 5 years after my divorce, Valentine, and I was a waitress, and I wrote a short story. It's on Amazon called Amateur Night. It's about a Valentine's night when I was a waitress, and I used to get so depressed because I had nobody, and then I'd have to go wait on these people getting engaged and on wonderful dinners, drinking champagne, right?
Yeah.
But what I would do that day is I would take myself out to lunch. I'd go to a bar where I knew, lunch. I knew the bartender there, and I'd order myself a glass of champagne and a nice lunch, and I'd take myself out, and I call February the month of love. Do something for somebody else. Go volunteer at a homeless shelter. Do something nice for your neighbor. Take some dogs at a shelter for a walk. Whatever. Give. When you give, you're going to get, and there will be somebody out there for you. That Valentine's Day is really hyped up with the media and stuff.
Right.
Do
I
not
call it Single Awareness Day.
Do not make you feel bad about yourself for not having a romantic partner on one day of the year.
Right.
Just use it as a day of love and give love, and that's what you're going to get. Yeah. And love yourself.
Yes, I think that's the key. If nothing else for this particular show, what was brought up is if we attract what we are like, are you attractive? Are you attractive to yourself? Are you the best possible you? Do you love yourself? Can't divorce yourself. You can divorce everybody else, but you can't divorce yourself. Am I the best that I am? And if I am, then I know that my man's in the oven baking. Yeah. And the worst thing I could do is open the door and say, "Are you ready yet?" Because then they come out half-baked.
It's timing too. Your guy might be getting a divorce right now. He might live in Atlanta and he's going to move to LA soon. You don't know what his trajectory is, what his path is. He could, he will be coming. As long get ready.
Coming,
because
really?
Coming, get ready.
In more ways than one.
Pardon the pun.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're
Would
welcome.
you any love message to your guy?
Adolfo, mi amor, yo te quiero mucho.
Aw, that's cool. That's te amo.
Te amo, mi amor, te amo.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Marla, for coming
Marissa.
on set, on location, in the studio. Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa. Marla Martenson, Beverly Hills Matchmaker. Get her books on Amazon. Am I holding that right? And Diary of a Beverly Hills Matchmaker. And, I forgot, giveaway, Dr. Marissa giveaway, because they call me the Asian Oprah. All the awards that
You won a car. I'm giving away a Rolls Royce to the first person.
Yeah.
No. Let's give away my book.
All right.
And what do we have to say, like what they've got to do to give it?
Yeah, what would you like them to do to get?
Email me with your list of what you want, and I'm going to see whoever I think has the most realistic list and what I like, what they write. I'll send you my memoir.
Awesome.
And email me. My email. Are we going to give the email?
Yeah.
It's just my name, Marla Martenson at mac.com. So MarlaMartenson at mac.com.
That's awesome. All right. You already got your applause. It is that time at the end of every show when I do Welcome to My Balance Bar. So there's my little fairy. That's
Love
my
the
Cupid.
fairy.
That's my Cupid. So I am also giving another book away today. Since we are talking about sex and romance and healing, this is a book called Buddhism for Couples. And the publicist contacted me, so we're looking at having them on the air. But in the meantime, I'm giving this book away. If you go to forbalance.org and sign the guest book and say Buddhism, then I will send this book out to you. As well, 21-day fast from complaining is now in hiatus until March the 1st. Round 45 will start then. In the meantime, if you have tried not to complain and you know it feels better and you'd like to help me bring that into an app form, please go to GoFundMe, my first attempt at crowd raising, gofundme.com and /HRAXLO, HRAXLO, and $5 will help me bring this app to you this year, and you'll get an app. You'll be one of the first to get that app. Also, I will be going back to Sedona. It is my 5th annual trip to the beautiful Red Rocks of Sedona the weekend after Mother's Day. Great gift if you want to save $180. Reserve your place and pay in full, and you will get the whole trip for $180 less. And I think it's only for something. I'm going to have to talk to my marketing manager. I didn't get the notes this morning to find out how to get there. Again, go to forbalance.org, and it's a balance treatment in the vortexes. I'll teach you balance Tai Chi Gong, as well as some balance treatments of all the things that we talk about on the show, so you can be happy 88% of the time. And last but not least, I am giving away free tickets to the LA Convention Center, the Ascent Expo. We have like-minded, environmentally sound people coming to, I'm going to be interviewed there on camera, bringing my books and my DVDs. So go to my website to get the link, or go to Ascent LA. The group is WIN, and they go to my Facebook and you'll get the links on that. All right. And next Tuesday, we are coming in like a lamb in March with a children's book author, Jessica Kalasco. She's a friend of mine. She's going to kill me for that. But she is a lovely, lovely, lovely beneficial presence on the planet, and she is specifically publishing books that are good for our young. And so we're going to use that time to talk about how do we talk to our kids about violence. I think it's, you all know that I don't talk about the headlines. They are just always there. Media weapon of mass distraction, getting us to look at the worst parts of people and the violence in the world. So, we can't escape it. How do we teach our children about violence? So it's going to be a great show next week. Please do tune in. That is next Tuesday at Naturally High Noon. This Thursday, the replay of this fabulous show, if you tuned in late, we're going to have Marla on my UBN channel replaying at 4 p.m. and then on my NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050 on Thursday, 7 p.m. for your commute home. And that's it for today's show. Please tune in again for Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. The music, there we go. We'll cut.
touch keeps making me want you. So soft and yet so disturbing. The emotion it brings, my heart starts to sing a new melody. Your words are so few, at times I do